WNST, Towson, Baltimore Fire.
Hey, I thought we were here to talk about the Arena Football League and the Baltimore.
Let's do that.
Yeah, let's go. And the Washington Valor.
There's no Super Bowl.
Those teams that come up to the number one team, the Philadelphia Soul. All right, now we'll go on.
I'll get to that at the end.
I never saw you silent like that. Were you all right?
No,
I gotcha.
I'm fine. You threw me a little curveball. You're known for doing that. I've
are
seen you
correct.
break down these plays. You threw me a little flea flicker there, you know. First off, I must say, we're brought to you by Howard Bank, but I'm going to change my hat right now. In honor of Jim Schwartz and of you and of Torrey Smith, it's not quite an Eagles thing. It's not totally an Eagles thing, but it's the closest you're going to get from me.
It's green.
It's green. And I figure, whether they win or lose, they're not going to beat me up. And
the nicest fans in America are in Philadelphia.
Because you've never sat there.
I'm telling you, I sit in the stands. They're wonderful.
Let me give you a purple hat.
You're still living in the 60s. Oh, they throw snowballs at Santa Claus. Get over it.
It is a tough town.
Of course it is. We're on these softies.
Look, you were a part of this back in 1980. Obviously, you're part of it 13 years ago, whatever it was. This one, a little different, a little optimism, little feeling like this might happen this time?
Yeah, I can speak clearly on 1980. We thought we were going to win the football game.
Sure.
We ended up losing to the Raiders. We were a good football team. We had beaten the Raiders in the regular season. We felt we were going to be the world champions. We weren't. We didn't play our best football. The 2004 Eagle team, a very good football team. I can't tell you how that locker room felt, but I'm sure they thought they could win the game. They probably should have won the game. I think they outplayed the Patriots in that game. Now, so spin it forward to now. I would probably think this is the hottest of the three Super Bowl teams coming into the game. They are playing great football. I mean, last week was a really clean game by the Philadelphia.
The kind of defense you're going to need to have against Brady. It's trending in that direction.
And I always say that in this game, the most expensive piece of real estate in the world during this game is going to be 5 yards behind Tom Brady. Take that 3 foot by 3 foot square, go 5 yards behind Tom Brady or 15 feet. Whoever wins that piece of real estate will win the game. If Tom can stand clean on that spot, that 9 square feet, Patriots win the game. If Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, your guy from Baltimore, Tim Jernigan, thanks for letting us sign him.
Hey, listen,
if they get to that spot, if they get to it, then the Eagles will win.
If you expect me to be the one to give Philadelphia the respect, let me tell you what. Remember this. On Monday, if you're having a parade, your defensive coordinator's from Baltimore. That's all I want you to know. You had to come down. You had to import. You had to take the best of Baltimore and pull it out, just like you gave us Harbaugh, right? Yep. You gave us Joe Flacco.
That was a pretty good trade.
You gave us Joe.
Yeah, you know my guy Joe.
You got a business partner in Joe.
Joe was one of my
golf course.
Ramblewood Country Club. Joe Flacco and I are partners. It's doing very well. When you're in the neighborhood, stop on by.
I don't play golf, but I do that.
Well, you could drive the beverage cart.
You got a 19th hole?
Yeah.
And a 20th hole.
Of course. We call it 7-Tap Tavern, which is based. That was my number 7. So 7-Tap Tavern. But I did hang Joe's jersey. So the only 5 and 7 is Joe.
I want to say this to you. I haven't talked to you in a long time on the air. Joe Flacco is my favorite all time. And I've been doing this 33 years.
Yep.
He's my favorite athlete. And to talk to as what kind of guy he is, what he stands for, I'm a big Joe fan. Where are you with Joe at this point? Advanced, needs some help around him. All of these things that are going on in Baltimore. You guys are having a party. Bisciotti's back running, having a 1:30 Friday press conference in the afternoon, the day before Ray Lewis goes in the Hall of Fame. We got 30,000 empty seats. We got some issues in Baltimore right now.
No question about it. And football is the consummate team game. Joe is still a quarterback that you could win the Super Bowl with. Now the clock is ticking. Joe, what's year 10 now? 10 years in this league? The clock is ticking. You can start seeing the cumulative effect of the injuries. He's been beat up. He's taken a lot of hits. So they must understand, John and Ozzie and all the guys there, they've only got Flacco for a smaller window right now. You better build around that guy. Look at what Howie Roseman.
Sounds like Luke Jones.
I've only been saying it since the last Super Bowl when they
I agree with you. I agree. And look what Howie Roseman did in Philly. As an example, there's a reason Philly's here. Howie Roseman did a really, really good job of building his team. He realized, okay, we got Carson Wentz. We like him. He's going to be our guy. Let's get the supporting cast. What do? Alshon Jeffrey, Torrey Smith. 4 weeks of the season go by. We're really not where we need to be with running back. Jay Ajayi.
Right.
All these moves are made to help the quarterback because you got the guy. So if you got the guy, you better build around. I'm not saying, our foundation is defense. That's what we're spending our money.
Amen.
Today's NFL is different. It's 11 personnel. It's one back. It's one tight end. It's 3 wide receivers.
Jaworski, preach.
No, that's today's NFL. And if you don't adapt to that, you know what? You're going to be 8-8 every year, or you're going to be 7-9 or 9-7. You've got to change your thinking. I just got done talking to the guys in Dallas. I said, you guys are still running 1985-90 Emmitt Smith offense over the fullback, lead play, 2 tight ends. That's my era. It's over. It's done.
Well, where are you with Marty Morningwig, a guy you know very well?
Marty's got to change. And if Marty was right here, we'd probably have this debate. And I love Marty. Here's a guy that knows your Ravens pretty well. He'll probably say the same thing. You got to open it up a little bit. That's today's game.
You want some of this, Coach? Oh,
come on, get this.
Oh,
hey, Coach.
Here we go.
Come on, Coach, sit down.
Oh, I've lost control.
Coach, we're talking about
absolutely lost control.
You know,
I know what you're talking about. Now, is it 2.5 seconds from the point of, or is it 1.75 seconds on a 3-step?
We're down 1.5 in that 3-step drop. 2.1 in the 5-step. I read your book and I learned that, Coach.
Yeah, right.
But we've already plugged the golf course, just so you know. He's already criticized Morningwig, says the offenses need to change. He's already beaten up Dallas, and I've already worn a green hat.
Fair enough.
So that's where you are.
It's been a good day.
Bring you up to speed. That's all.
You got it. You got to be in hog heaven, though.
It's kind of fun.
To have your Eagles
it's kind of
This
fun.
is great.
I wish we had a little nicer weather, though.
Oh, my God.
I mean,
hey, by the way, you're the expert.
And I'm from Buffalo.
20 years he's been telling me, Minnesota, it kills the mosquitoes, and I got the lake house, and come on up, we'll put the boat out.
The boat.
This is not a climate meant for people from the equator.
I grew up in L.A., and it was the idea that you could freeze to – no, you can't really freeze to death. No, that's just media. Yeah, as you know, you can freeze to death.
Worst 40 seconds of my year. We're moving from the shuttle in here.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
Literally. My chest was hurting.
Hey, it's for real men.
All right, so in the game.
Let's get back. Ask the coach what you asked me. So I don't want to have any way of slighting his opinion.
On the Ravens?
No, on what he need to do offensively, where the game is going.
Where is the game going offensively right now? A lot different than when you were here as the Vikings offensive coordinator 20 years ago?
I will tell you this. I wrote a book in 1995 on offensive game planning.
I told you I
which
read
was
that book.
mostly about the ratios of how many plays you need per situation, how many, for instance, 3rd and 1 in the open field. You're in it one time a game. Coaches bring in 20 plays. You don't need 20 plays. So anyways, they approached me and said, can we update it? So I went back, and it was pretty fun, off-season project. I did all the research. The numbers haven't changed.
Wow.
This game has not changed in terms of those ratios. Now, and of course, everybody says the game's going to be the college game. I don't buy it. It has spread out a little bit. The read option, obviously, to a degree. Everybody said, well, why don't we do it like the college game? One, you don't have enough quarterbacks to do it because the guy will get killed in the NFL. The game has changed to a degree. The tempo has changed a little bit. The average number of plays really hasn't gone up that high. So it has changed a little bit, but I don't think to the degree that a lot of people think it has because of the spread. These RPOs and stuff, we were throwing smoke routes 25 years ago, weren't we?
Absolutely. But here was the difference, and it's just my feeling. I love the RPOs, but it's incumbent upon the quarterback to be a really quick thinker.
Yeah.
Because you're going to put that ball in the belly of a back and watch that linebacker and make a decision like that because those linemen blocking think it's a run.
Well, if you're going to pay the quarterback $25 million,
it could be a pass.
Well, if you're going to pay the quarterback $25 million, you got to trust him, right?
Well, you better. Yeah, but not everyone's smart. Coach will tell you, some of these quarterbacks you can't run some of this stuff with.
Oh, absolutely.
And some are just, Nick Foles is. Now you say, and here's why I agree with the coach, 100%. You can't run a collegiate-style offense in the NFL. There's not enough quarterbacks to do it. But Nick Foles is not a mobile quarterback,
no.
But they could run the RPOs because he's smart. And it's not about him running. It's about him reading that linebacker, where they're dropping. Are they going with the back? Are they staying in? If he stays in that hook zone, you're giving the ball off.
Well, the difference, what they've done with Nick Foles, because you're right, you're not going to run the read option with Nick Foles. So instead of where Russell Wilson will read, maybe keep it, not that often, but keep it, and that's the threat, they go, well, we're not going to do it with Nick Foles, so you read, pull it out, and throw the slant. Now, what defenses are going to do, like they do with the read option, and I've talked to defensive coordinators, and as this continues to grow, it's going to be simple. You're going to have guys crashing off the end, I don't care if they run for 1,000 yards. If the quarterback's going to stick that ball in there, whether he has the ball or not, you kick the living shit out of him. And you hit him, and you hit him hard. And remember Chip Kelly when he came in, and it was Terrell Suggs in the preseason game. And Dean Pease did a brilliant job, said, you take off. I don't care if you make the tackle. You hit the quarterback every time. And Chip Kelly said, wait a minute, that's not legal. And the league said, yes, it is. He's no longer gets the protection. That's when Chip Kelly had to go, okay, I got to adjust this a little bit from what I was doing in college.
Both of you have been at this a long time. You as a coach, player. The thought of doing this with a backup quarterback at the late juncture of the year when that kid was the reason, really, they were there. This is a unique challenge all the way around. Back to Hostetler or whatever, but this would not be anyone's storybook way to do this from an Eagles standpoint.
Here's where Howie rose. You got to give him credit.
A lot of credit.
He had Chase Daniels. Chase Daniels is not an NFL starting quarterback. No. He's a nice, solid backup. He can fill in for a half, maybe a game, give you a couple. They realized that if anything did happen to Carson, they needed a solid backup. How he felt, I'm intimately involved with what they think. They even ask me sometimes, what do I think? Which
God forbid.
Nice that's a scary part.
How could you possibly have an opinion after 40 years?
Usually wrong. But so they say, hey, you know what? We got a good team here. So let's get a guy in case something does happen to Carson. Yeah, you're going to take a little step back. But it's been a baby step. I mean, Carson was having a special year, but Nick has stepped in, and he's a rep guy, and Coach knows about rep guys. They need reps. They just got to keep practicing. Nick Foles missed the whole training camp and the preseason games. He had a bad elbow. Today's CBA doesn't allow you to practice long enough where a backup quarterback can get reps. All of a sudden, he's thrust in to be the starting quarterback, and he wasn't sharp, but he knocked the rust off, and lo and behold, he put 2 clean games together the last couple of weeks.
And Doug transformed the offense around him. It's a departure from, remember Bill Polian, for all those years in Indianapolis, never had a backup to Peyton, because if we lose Peyton, we're dead. And why just limp along? If you can't win it all, why bother? So we're going to put our money elsewhere. You got to be a damn good team to make it to the Super Bowl with a backup quarterback. Of course, we did it, but we made that transition after 4 or 5 games. To do it in Week 14 and have to change. I give Doug Peterson, to me, he's Coach of the Year.
Tremendous job.
To adapt to the change from Carson Wentz to Nick Foles and the job that they did. And, again, give not only credit to Howie to pursuing that, but paying for it.
Yeah.
That's a chunk of your resources to put it in a backup quarterback.
Jaws is here on behalf of Humana and the Wounded Warrior Amputee football game. Kenny Mayne came by and showed me bruises and scars and showed me his ankle all torn up.
It was great.
And they invite me to play because I'm an amputee.
You got to play.
BJ always says you want to play.
This is an absolutely inspiring football game. I get a bunch of NFL alumni guys to play the Wounded Warrior Amputees. And we're 0-18 against those guys. Just want you to know we haven't won a game yet. But when you see these,
you're going to war with warriors.
Yeah, that's right. These young men and women that have defended our country, so we can do what we do. I mean,
how many tours USO for you? You've done a couple, right?
I did Iraq.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I did Guantanamo.
And did you?
I have not. I have not done those.
Boy, he speaks to all the coaches.
Everybody does.
Speaks so highly of doing it.
But the Wounded Warrior Amputee game is something I look forward to
all
the
these
time.
Young people, unbelievable. Man. Unbelievable
not
stories you hear.
Not a dry eye in the place.
Right. BJ comes by every year. He leads them up. We try to knock him down. Be nice to Kenny Mayne.
Yeah. He was a wreck this morning, man. He was like limping around and everything. And by the way, special thanks to Humana. They support this game, and they're 100% behind it so we can continue to grow it and honor these young men and women that have sacrificed so much for us.
All right, I got to get rid of Jaws. Coach, you stay in a minute.
You look good in that green hat, though. I know that.
You need to come do a stint on our playbook show.
I'm in.
Bring with the real X's and O's.
That's what we do.
Because God forbid, 24 hours a day football, that there's actually 20 minutes of real football.
You know what? We ought to make that a point. Let's do some real
you know
football.
What we ought to do? We ought to have a playbook edge matchup. Film off.
Wait, Baldy's here. Let's go.
Let's do it. I would do it. That would be great fun.
We'll bring it to Philly. We'll serve.
We'll sell tickets. We'll be off it.
I'll wear this hat.
That'll be awesome.
You will be welcome in Philly with that green hat.
I know I'd be welcome.
Just have it on Monday, baby.
Oh, good luck. Hey, I want you to win. I want you to win.
Thanks, Coach. Always a pleasure.
I'm with Schwartz. Wherever he is, I go. All right, Coach Billy's going to stay here. It's all brought to you by our friends at Howard Bank, of course. And, I'm not wearing my hat. Howard Bank, of course, and Royal Farms, real fresh, real fast. And move on over, Coach. Sit down with us here. Let's talk some football. Oh, we got Tim Brown too. Tim Brown, come on in. Holly,
here, let get Tim in here.
Let's get Tim in the middle. Here we go.
Tim, how you doing? Got a good-looking jacket there,
We're
man.
just doing extended coverage here. We're throwing all the rules away, moving Jaworski out, moving Tim Brown in. I remember Tim Brown when he wasn't in the Hall of Fame, and you were just like coming through here, and we were trying to figure out how to get you in the Hall of Fame.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. You never know how much you're worried about something until you don't have to worry about it anymore. So
I got to tell you what, I got to ask you this. You're the perfect guy to ask. I got to sit with Ray Lewis about a month ago.
Yeah.
We were with the NFL Network. We were banking some tape for, obviously, the induction. We all know Ray's first ballot Hall of Famer, or there's going to be an investigation. But when we got to the end of the interview, we were talking about the knock on the door.
Yeah.
And what that meant. And he was talking about his mother, and, it was very, very emotional. Mm-hmm. What's it like going through that process, waiting for that knock on the door the night before to find that you truly are?
The interesting thing is I never waited the previous 5 years. I was out playing golf. I was out doing something. I was never in the room. This was the only time that I was in the room. Before one time we were in New York, we were actually on a helicopter back from a gig in Jersey to try and get back for the honors thing. So for me, that's what everybody tells you. Don't do that.
Right.
Don't do that to yourself.
The anxiousness.
Yeah. For a guy like Ray, it could be different because you're exactly right. He should be first.
In.
Yeah. But
everybody said that. Everybody.
Well, how do you not? Serious. I was only half joking, but if not.
Who?
There's going to be an investigation.
Yeah.
Right, there has to be.
Well,
if not Ray, who?
The only problem with this Hall of Fame thing is those 44, 48 guys, whatever it is in that room, they have the ability to do whatever they want to do and not be accountable for it. Because
now, are you not part of the process?
No.
They don't have the former.
There are two Hall of Famers who are.
Because God forbid, let a Hall of Famer actually give you a perspective of who belongs in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, we say that all the time.
We say that in baseball, basketball, hockey. Right. It's all the same.
Wow.
Yeah, but the problem is, the first 5 years, I didn't go in. My guy who was presenting me, Frank Cooney, he would go around the room like, "Hey, did you vote for Tim?" "Yeah, I voted for Tim." I voted for Tim. Everybody voted for Tim.
Well, how the hell did Tim not get in?
Right,
so the fix is in.
Right. So that's the thing, man. And you just never know what these guys are thinking. But I think things should definitely
special
go
time though.
Hand me that ring over here. Let's take a look at this here. This is
the ring of. You have to say it with the voice of God. The ring of excellence.
The ring of excellence. Appreciate K. Jeweler sending Tim Brown by, as well as his lovely wife Cherise. How did we not get her on the camera?
I know. Right. You need to sit over here. We need to get her over here.
I'm going to make adjustments.
There you go. Yeah.
How are you?
That's just bad producing.
Wow, how are you?
Oh well, I don't. We. No, it's because Luke doesn't want to be. Luke's camera shy, I'm pretty sure. There's a chair over here.
Not really.
Don't be giving me a hard time. Tell me about Kay and their involvement in doing this, because you got a ring on your finger, and I guess this one's aside. This one says
that's Jerry Rice's.
Jerry Rice's ring.
How about that?
And I've seen John Ogdenson.
Oh man, Ogden's. How big is Ogden's? It's got to be twice.
My head. It fits around my head.
No doubt. Yeah, they obviously do the Ring of Excellence, and K. Jewelers have been such a great part of the Hall of Fame and everything that we've done. But we're here for Valentine's Day, man.
My wife is right here.
Oh, well, hey.
See,
listen to me, bro. Go to K Jewelers and go to K.com. Make this thing happen. So, hey, look, I didn't win the big one because of somebody sitting next to me, right? I never won the big one on the field.
My pleasure. That was a wonderful.
I did win the big one when I got married to her. So.
I bring that up with Rich Gannon. I haven't even given you a hard time.
Oh, no, we never forget about that.
So
I have nightmares about Shannon Sharp going 96 yards on the doggone slat route.
That's interesting. One man's treasure is another man's trash. I go to bed at night on bended knee, thanking God for that 96-yard touchdown by Shannon Sharp.
Unbelievable.
Brandon Stokely with the block.
I
had to go back and watch that.
No. It was like 3rd and 30, and we decided to go like full blitz.
Sure.
Let's go full blitz. That's what you do.
Let's get a deuce.
It's crazy. But hey.
Because at that point, the game was over.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because you weren't going to cross the 50-yard line after that.
No. It was.
What was that like playing against RD with Ray?
Look,
we're all these years later, and he's about to join your club.
Well, once Rich Gannon went out, we knew we were dead. We were just dead in the water. The kid who came in, Bobby Hornier, was a good quarterback, but his eyes were as big as silver dollars, man. So the offense had to go from, we were trying to be simplistic anyway because of this great defense, but now we went to really simple plays, and we just didn't have the manpower to be able to push those guys off the line.
People always ask me, and I think the Oakland game more so than any other, the reason I knew we were going to win, people, and remember, you were the number one running attack in the NFL that year.
Yeah.
Even the Oakland Raiders, number one in rushing in the NFL that year, we knew we're not going to be able to run the ball.
Right.
And it shocked people. Oh, I can hear Gruden right now. I'm just going, why are these guys? We're going to run the ball. No, you're not. As you knew, you don't run the ball on us.
Marvin would say they don't have any idea how fast we are.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
And it shocked them.
I think those guys up the middle were so stout.
Yeah.
They were able to take those two guys, would take three guys. Ray was roaming, flying downhill to the ball. And anytime you can do that, man, I mean, it's just going to be impossible to do anything on offense.
Well, it's a heck of a segue because when Jaws was sitting here, we were just in the conversation we sat down about trying to win with a backup quarterback. That afternoon, you couldn't do it, and here they are sitting with Nick Foles on the wall.
I don't think Nick is a backup quarterback, though. I think he is a starting quarterback who was just waiting for his opportunity again. Obviously, he's played very well in the league. So I don't see this as the same situation we were in the second half all of a sudden where, you had no preparation, no time to work with this guy, in practice.
Yeah.
I mean, Nick Foles is a guy who's played well for weeks, and, he's had a couple good years in the league. So, look, if he can play halfway as good as he played a couple weeks ago, I think they're going to have a legitimate chance to win this game.
Last thing to argue about, wide receivers. Moss to the Hall of Fame, T.O. Some thoughts about numbers and contributions.
Look, it's not a matter of which is better. I think what they're going to do, I think they're going to put T.O. in order not to put Randy in on first ballot. Because I believe that they don't want another receiver to go in first ballot but Jerry because of the records, the championships, and the longevity. Now, Randy changed the game. He changed that position, no doubt about it. But if they don't put T.O. in this year and they put Randy in, you can bet that somebody better duck and hide because the big boy is going to go after somebody.
And I'm biased because I had Randy his rookie year. But what you said, I think, resonates with me. To me, the Hall of Fame there's a lot of criteria. Chris Carter changed the game in terms of the slot receiver. Randy Moss changed the game in what you're looking for, and a guy that had size, speed, catching, take the top off the defense, the whole 9 yards. To me, when you have guys that change the game, and who better to know than Tim, but guys that change the game. There's guys, obviously, that have the history, the career, the numbers, the way they conducted themselves. That's a hell of a criteria. To me, like John Lynch. Now, I realize it's hard to quantify. Now I'm biased again. John was with me at Stanford. John was the very first drop-in-the-box guy. So he was the guy that changed the game.
Pioneers should always be given that consideration.
That's a qualifier for me. So that needs to be one of the criteria to a degree. I got to run as well.
Coach Billick's out of here. You guys want to sing? Sharice, you want to sing a little bit?
No, just want to tell you guys to go to K Jewelers for, hey, you got to get your Valentine's Day gifts,
And you're saying this right in front
I'm
of my wife.
saying this in front of your wife because I'm wearing some of the jewelry. I wanted you to see the pendant, the earrings, the bracelet. You have to see this beautiful pendant.
Look at this examination.
So this is part of their interwoven connection.
And they redid her ring.
And they redid my ring. So they helped Tim design it and Tim's ring.
So go
to K.com, guys, for Valentine's Day and get your ladies some beautiful gifts. I'm just saying.
All right. Thanks for coming by.
Hey,
thank you for having us.
We're getting the cameras together, the lights, the camera, the action. It's all brought to you by our friends at Howard Bank. We're on the set here, Minnesota, Super Bowl 52 and Radio Row. It's all brought to you by our friends at Royal Farms. Real fresh, real fast, and we'll continue on here with our multi-level programming. We are WNST.net, AM 1570, and WNST Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports.